Though the Tsar did not survive, one daughter may be still alive.
That's right. Since no one knew exactly what happened to the imperial family, the rumors invaded the papers that one child had miraculously escaped the dreadful fate. Numerous impostors of Tatiana, Olga, Maria, Alexei and Anastasia popped in and out of Russia and Europe, claiming that they were the survived Romanovs.
Grandma, it's me, Anastasia.
Disney's Dimitri was the one who actually found the most plausible candidate, Anya, who turned out to be the real Grand Duchess, Anastasia, at the end of the day. Watch the first episode of this series to learn why this could never happen in reality.
But I thought we were going to see the Empress herself.
Wait, in fact it did, yet it was not Anastasia, but that mysterious Anya who really existed. In this video you will learn who was Dimitri. Was he a kitchen boy or a real prince, or did he even exist at all?
Psst. See Dimitri. He can help. Where can I find him?
While most of us think that the musical film is based on the story of the legendary salvation of Anastasia Romanov, I was in fact who did. It is in fact an animated version of the Anastasia movie from 1956. The stunning Ingrid Bergman was playing the young Grand Duchess and won Oscar for the Best Actress. The old movie is very close to its animated version except for the part about Rasputin. He's totally absent there. There is a White Russian General Bunin who plots to fool the Dowager Empress Mary Fedorovna, Anastasia's grandmother, and swindle the girl's inheritance of 10 million pounds. He found the amnesiac girl named Anna, who looks exactly like the lost Anastasia, brings her to her grandma in Paris, yet falls in love with her, and the two run away at the end. Just like in our favorite cartoon, except for the part that they were left in doubt whether Anna is a real princess or if the dowager finally believes her. Unfortunately, that General Bunin is still a fictional character. Yet who was our Dimitri? And yeah, who was finally Anya?
Anya, wake up! Wake up!
The Romanov curse!
Romanov, what? What are you talking about?
I keep seeing faces, so many faces.
The plot of the movie was adapted from the screenplay that was inspired by the life of the so-called Anna Anderson, who was the best-known Anastasia's impostor. Born in a family of Polish factory worker in 1896, Franciszka Szańskowska had a rather difficult life and developed mental problems already by the age of 20. The first notion of her appeared in the German newspapers in 1920 when she tried to commit suicide by jumping off the bridge in Berlin. She eventually lost her memory and found herself in an asylum for mental patients, where her fellow psychiatric patient suddenly claimed that she was the real Grand Duchess Tatiana, Anastasia's elder sister. For an unknown reason, when she finally decided to speak out, she strangely didn't call herself Tatiana, whom she resembled a bit according to some records of her contemporaries, but she named herself Anastasia, and that's how her royal tale started.
Oh.
We are going to reunite the Grand Duchess Anastasia with her grandmother.
You do kind of resemble her.
The same blue eyes.
The Romanov eyes.
Nicholas's smile.
Alexandra's chin.
Oh, look, she even has the grandmother's hands.
The rumor that one of the Romanov daughters survived and is now living in harsh conditions in Germany intrigued the Russian emigrant society of the epoch. Some immediately thought of the potential inheritance she might receive as the only rightful heiress to the throne, while other kind hearts just couldn't pass by without helping the unknown girl, even if there was even the slightest possibility that she might be the daughter of the murdered sovereign. Although the sick girl eventually took the name of Anna Anderson, the daring theory of her Russian origins was fueled by the fact that she apparently had lost her memory, had scars on her head and body, and spoke German with an accent described as Russian by medical staff.
Now let me ask you something, Anya, was it? There's a last name that goes with that?
Well, actually, this is gonna sound crazy. I don't know my last name.
Immediately, she found herself patrons and well-wishers who wanted to help and establish the truth of her origin, or perhaps gain their proper benefit in finding the heiress to the Russian throne.
She's the same age, the same physical type.
Are you trying to tell me that you think that I am Anastasia?
All I'm trying to tell you is that I've seen thousands of girls all over the country, and not one of them looks as much like the Grand Duchess as you. I mean, look at the portrait.
They took her out of the asylum and, although she was really mentally ill, tried to introduce her to the aristocratic circles of her prototype. At the time, she called herself Anna as if it was the shorter name of Anastasia, which in reality isn't the case.
I'm sorry, Anya.
It's Anya.
Anya. It's just...
When I first saw the movie, I wondered, why Anya? Nobody shortens Anastasia's name this way in Russian, and nobody called this way the young Grand Duchess, whose short name was Nastya, Nastinka or Shidzik, the funny nickname she received in the family, meaning a little mischief. The impostor Anastasia eventually didn't know that and made that first mistake along the way.
Uncle Yashin was from Moscow. Uncle Boris was from Odessa. And every spring...
We would take picnics by the shore on Sunday. Haven't you anything better to do?
What's more, she didn't speak any Russian, which was also strange, since the imperial sisters spoke Russian with their father and English with their mother and granny. They knew French, but never spoke German. The red flag number 2.
But we won't be fooled next time. No, I'm going to think of really hard questions.
All the former courtiers who knew the imperial family and visited Anastasia in the hospital and later in the houses of her noble patrons left detailed records of those visits, stating that there was not even the slightest possibility of the lady being neither Anastasia nor Tatiana nor anybody else related to the royal family.
Oh dear, now you'll have to leave now, yes. Goodbye.
Well, that didn't stop those who preferred to believe in miracle salvation or in their own potential benefit, and they eventually informed Anna about some details of the life of her royal alter ego, which she then used to convince the new coming visitors that she was the real princess.
Don't have anything to be nervous about. She's the princess.
I know, but...
No, you don't know.
Records do not reveal that there was someone named Dimitri who was around her at the epoch. However, there was a rumor that someone indeed has organized castings for the role of the Grand Duchess, just like shown in the movie. Perhaps the image of Dimitri came out of multiple inspirations. The first one was the notion of the kitchen boy. The eponymous novel was recently written on the life of Leonid Sednev, who was a chef's assistant of Romanovs and a close playmate of young Tsarevich Alexei during Romanov's imprisonment in Siberia. He was one of the few souls who lived with them back then and was not murdered that night in 1918. Alas, his future life traces are uncertain, yet he couldn't become our Dimitri. Then there was this Gleb Botkin, who was the son of Romanov's Dr. Botkin, who died with them that night. Young Gleb managed to hide in the basement and then escape communist Russia. For some reason, he was one of the avid supporters of Anna Anderson until his last days. Interestingly, although the image of a girl Anastasia and Dowager are laughing at appears to be based on the real drawing by the Grand Duchess Anastasia, it may also be related to one of Gleb Botkin's stories of how he used to amuse the Grand Duchesses with caricatures of pigs dressed in human clothing, acting like stuffy dignitaries at court.
Olga made me so mad. She said it looked like a pig riding a donkey.
He stated that when he first visited Anna Anderson, she asked if he has brought with himself those funny animals, and that's why he immediately believed she was the real Anastasia.
I was the boy. She's the real thing, Vlad.
Perhaps someone prepared her for that visit. Apart from that, he lived his own life in the States and wasn't our Dimitri either. There were two more plausible candidates. Interestingly, both were related to Coco Chanel in their later lives in Paris. One was the Grand Duke Dimitri Pavlovich of Russia, who was the first cousin of Tsar Nicholas II, and Duke of Edinburgh, the late husband of the British Queen. He had a tough family situation, so he basically spent his childhood with the imperial family, growing up along with the Grand Duchesses and the young Tsarevich. He was one of the conspirators who killed Grigory Rasputin that night, just like Dimitri in the film, for which he was banished to Persia, and lucky he was, this way he escaped the revolution and saved his life. The second one was Prince Dmitri Alexandrovich of Russia. He was the Tsar's nephew. He also survived the revolutionary years and re-established himself in a new life in Paris and London. What's important, neither of the princes have ever supported the claims of any Anastasia's impostors.
My heart can't take it anymore. I will see no more girls claiming to be Anastasia.
Indeed, although Anna Anderson lived a long life, got married at the age of 72 and died in 1984, her story was missing that hero-lover component.
It was a nightmare. It's all right. You're safe now.
The screenwriters corrected that mistake and invented daring and handsome Dimitri that shined the light on her life and brought that fairy tale of her wishful royal childhood to life. In fact, this part of the story never could become a reality. Although some of Romanov's relatives wanted to believe her and even gave her money and let her live in the lands of their family estates, her true identity was uncovered already during her lifetime. And the DNA evidence gained in the 1990s, thanks to the material provided by the Duke of Edinburgh, finally proved her origins of a Polish girl who had never been close to real Romanovs. But did she ever have a chance to meet the Dowager Empress like in the musical? And was there the real Sophie gatekeeping her Serene Highness?
You have to talk to her.
This is the story to be told in my third video dedicated to Anastasia movie. I hope you liked this mini-series and subscribe to my channel not to miss the next episode coming. Bye bye!
Just look at her, please.